Okay. We're looking good. You can see everything?
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Perfect. Perfect. Well, good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Olga St. Pierre. I am a real estate agent by trade. And as you can imagine, a lot of what we do also has to do with decluttering and right sizing. So just a little bit about us. We have been helping clients move around the country in Canada for the last 14 years. This is our full-time mission to help everyone's dream of owning a home come true. And then once you are homeowners, we are here every step of the way with you in the community to help you and be a sustainable, responsible homeowner. So we do have a complete move solution from start to finish to help you coordinate everything, because moving is extremely stressful, and 100% of us just don't realize how much stuff we accumulate until we actually have to go through it. And our car exchange service is also here for you, absolutely free of charge. Anything that you may need, any contractor or recommendation, think of us as your yellow pages from start to finish, from A to Z. We are right now in the tax season, so if you're looking for a good accountant, or if you need any help that pertains to your decluttering project, which is what we're here to brainstorm this morning, please let us know. That is what we strive to be of service to you in our community. Then it is at no charge to you. So let's jump in. We are talking about decluttering today. And my goal today is for you to walk away actually relieved and excited about this prospect and not feeling stressed out. And here's why. I think a lot of you are here. First of all, it's kind of like beginning of the new year, fresh start. You want to get some things done and accomplished, whether it's in your home or your shed, or maybe even your car. It's just a challenge. What a lot of us are facing, and let me know if you agree with me, is that sometimes you just don't know where to start. You know, if you're talking about your house and you've been in your home for 20, 30, 40 years, you have a lot of things that have accumulated. And of course, if it's left alone, it does grow over time. If you think about it, we have mail that comes to our house 6 days a week, whether we like it or not. And if you don't take care of all that paperwork that comes in, it's just going to accumulate. So with all stuff that we have, 80% of it we rarely use. So I want you to take a few minutes and think about it and kind of mentally walk through your space that you're going to be working on and think if that applies to you. It doesn't always have to be clothes or things that we use, or think about your office or your kitchen, okay? And with time, it becomes too painful. We accumulate things from our family. We're not sure what to do with it. So we just kind of let it be, and then we go on our merry way, okay? So where to start, what to keep, and why, and what are we doing, and for how long, we're all going to cover today. So I appreciate you being here. And what I also want to stress to you is that decluttering is not just something hip that you saw on social media. Influencers are talking about it and doing it in their own spaces. Decluttering, based on the research that I have done, is actually extremely important for your mental as well as your physical health. So stuff weighs on us. It affects our happiness, our health, productivity on a conscious and subconscious level. And the easy way to kind of explain this to you is doing it this way. So when you get up in the morning, you have your routine, and you do it automatically because you do it every day. So the things that we have as our habits, things that we do on the regular basis that we don't think about, is what our subconscious level kind of focuses on. So we get up, we grab our coffee, we take a shower, and we do everything to get ready for the day. But as this process goes on, let's say you open the fridge and you realize that you ran out of milk for your coffee. You actually physically stop and say, wait a minute, okay, so if I don't have coffee, if I don't have milk, can I still drink my coffee black? Maybe I have some cream. Maybe I can put a little bit of vanilla ice cream in my coffee. Or do I just not drink coffee because I have no milk, and then I'm maybe drinking tea? So you actually have to make a conscious decision now because your routine has been disrupted. Okay. So things that affect us on the subconscious level are the worst culprits. And because you don't actively think about them, but yet they sit in the back of our minds, and it's like a vicious circle. It's like a hamster wheel. It just sits there and grinds, and it just takes away from our positive energy. And that's why the clutter can be a source of stress and depression and health issues. If you're not feeling well, if you can't focus, if you're not sleeping well, it could be that you have clutter in your bedroom. And of course, home disrepair, which I see quite often in my profession, where things just get piled up and then critters decide to make a home in the corner. And then unfortunately, we don't realize until it's later, and a small problem used to be becomes now a big and expensive headache. So as clutter accumulates, your energy stagnates, right? Do you feel like swampy and negative when you think about the clutter that you want to tackle? And then what happens is when you're like, you feel negative about it, it makes you feel tired and overwhelmed. You don't really want to think about it. So the goal is for you to trust your intuition today when you're thinking about your own project that you want to take on. And the goal is for you to release the things that make you unhappy and negative, and to only keep things that you are excited about, right? And because clutter bothers you, I appreciate you being here. And if it bothers you overall, it is really a ding that you are ready for a change. So let's get started and jump in. How we're going to do that is a big question I think a lot of you are asking. And let's devise a plan, okay? And just like in many things, we're going to start slow. And the biggest piece of advice that I can give you is start. First of all, that's number one. And two, start small. You don't have to declutter your whole room. You don't have to declutter your whole kitchen. You're not going to be able to tackle the whole basement. So don't set yourself up for failure from the start. So what we're going to focus on, number one, is schedule an appointment. So it's going to be decluttering an appointment that you're scheduling with yourself. Just like you are scheduling a doctor's appointment for yourself, for your loved ones, for your kids, your grandkids, you're going to schedule an appointment for yourself. You're going to set aside 1 hour, and that's going to be your time to get started on your decluttering journey or whatever it is that you want to focus on. What I'm going to ask you to do is to keep that appointment, because it is just as important as if you were going to the doctor's office because you are concerned for your health. This is your house health. This is also your mental health, as I already mentioned to you before. So look in your calendar for your next day off and schedule that 1 hour time slot first thing in the morning when your brain is still fresh and you don't have other things that are piled on for the day. So you have your breakfast, and then let's get that 1 hour set aside. Next, we're going to get rid of all the distractions. The biggest one is the cell phone or the computer that has all these different notifications that are ringing and buzzing and dinging. We're going to put our phone on a silent mode, and you're going to just put it aside for 1 hour because we are respecting our appointment. Next, we're going to get a timer because we need to know when the 1 hour is up. And the best thing to use for your timer is a regular kitchen timer, microwave timer, or maybe your stove timer. Please do not use your phone because that defies the whole purpose of not having a distraction. Next, everybody, I want you to get excited because when you declutter, you're going to work up some sweat. It's a workout, everybody. So it's a 2-for-1 special. And I want you to get excited because you're going to get things accomplished, and you're going to also burn calories. So that means you need to change into comfortable clothing. Do not wear jeans. Wear some yoga pants or some other comfortable pants because you're going to be moving around and you're going to be sweating. Next, make sure that you eat before you start because you're going to burn those calories, and make sure that you have water with you because you're going to need to stay hydrated for the time window that you are going to be focusing on. Next, think about what are some of the things that are going to get you energized and happy? Like, do you want to turn on the lights? Do you want to open up the blinds, turn on some music, light a candle? So think about what is going to get you all excited. And that is what you're going to get started to help you with your 1 hour time span. And a lot of you guys know that have been on my workshops, I'm a big believer on having notebooks. So, I have one right here. that I use for work. And I have a couple other ones for different projects that I have, whether it's personal or hobbies or a business. And I want you to actually start a workbook specifically for decluttering. That is going to be your decluttering headquarters, where you're going to write down your notes and reminders and then make plans going forward. So in order, I think, for declutter to really happen and for you to make progress, we need to make it fun, and you absolutely can make it fun. So we have some suggestions here for you. If you're just not sure where to start, we have a 30-day declutter challenge for you. We can do a 21-day minimalistic challenge. So whatever is going to get you excited and make you happy, you decide. Right? Or you can do like pick a number and let's say and do a 12-12-12 challenge. Some things to keep, some things to donate, some things to throw away. So if you want this 30-day declutter challenge, please let us know. We can send that over to you. And then you just do something a little bit every day. So a couple of things that will be helpful for you, but I don't want you to really dwell on it and say, well, now I can't do my project because I'm not prepared and I don't have the stuff. Really don't worry about it. If you have a trash can or recycle can, which most of us do have, you are already ahead of the game. So those are the most important things. If you have some storage bins or maybe garbage bags that you can use, that's perfect. Post-it notes or some kind of notes for you to use for labeling. And here are some recommendations for you on how you can label your areas of focus. Something that you're going to keep, a box for donating, box undecided, throw away, and to sell. Okay, so these are just some sample examples for you to consider. And the goal is that once you start your 1 hour of declutter, by the time your timer chimes, you should have something in every single one of these boxes and categories. Okay, things to keep in mind. Number one, trust your intuition and think about what does that, when you pick up this one item, does it make you happy? Does it make you cringe? Maybe you're not sure. And then just use that first instinct, intuition decision, and then start putting your things in those boxes. If you're not sure, that's okay. You're putting things in undecided pile. You just cannot have everything in the undecided pile. You guys are going to have to make some decisions. Some of them may be uncomfortable, yet it's going to make you feel great that you just spent 1 hour going through some things. It is progress. It is a huge start. So things that are making you happy, you're going to keep. Things that are going to make you sad and guilty and unhappy, you're going to release and put them in the throwaway, sell, or donate boxes, okay? And you're going to stay focused for that 1 hour. You're not checking your phone. You are going through because you have 1 hour and you're honoring this decision with yourself. And when you're done, after that 1 hour is over, you're going to pat yourself on the back, and then you're going to grab your notebook and you're going to write a couple things down. I encourage you to take a few minutes and just say to yourself, how does it feel? I just spent 1 hour. You happy that you finally started decluttering? Maybe put a note as to where you ended, so that way you know where you're going to pick up in your second appointment. If you have some things that you need to give to your family, make a note on who you need to reach out to. Make sure that you give your loved ones a deadline. Otherwise, they will continue to use your space as their free storage. And decide on when you're going to come back and continue with your declutter journey. So let's talk about on different rooms. Let's talk about different rooms and what you can do. So let's start with the kitchen. So again, just a reminder, please don't tackle the whole space all at once. My suggestion to you is focus on one cabinet, one drawer, or just the refrigerator. Think about what bothers you the most about that room and start there, because then it's going to give you the most satisfaction when you are done for 1 hour. If you're going to be in the fridge, go through it and throw away all of your expired food. Kind of try to get things organized. If you have leftovers, put them at the eye level, so that way those things can't get lost. Fruits and veggies have separate drawers. Meat goes in the bottom shelf. Drinks and condiments can go on the doors. And if you label everything, you will never lose things, and you will always know exactly when you are running out of things. So you then can put them on your grocery shopping list. And it's also going to be a money saving tip because you're not going to have 4 different bottles of ketchup in different parts of your fridge. The next recommendation is to use clear glass or plastic storage containers. So what I am inviting you to do is invest in simple systems that are going to help you maintain your decluttered state, right? I hope that your goal is as much as mine is to make your life as easier as possible. And that means that once you do this major decluttering project, you want to be able to maintain your clutter-free and neat setup for as long as possible. Well, in order for you to do that, you need to set up some systems to help you. So when I'm asking you to invest in some systems, to actually buy them, what I'm asking you to do is to make your life easier. So I am making some recommendations that you purchase some things that hopefully once you see them, they're going to make your life easier. So using clear glass storage containers and plastic containers is one of them. I love saving my glass jars from meat sauce, from pickles, and because I prefer to store things actually in glass and not plastic. And I am also using this in not recycling, throwing things away. And at the same time, when you are storing in clear container, you see everything. And plus, when you have the lids on, things stay fresh longer as well. If you're not sure how long to keep certain food, we have a food storage guide that we can send to you as well, or you can download it from online. You can put it on your fridge. And that's also helpful because remember, just because food does not have an expiration date does not mean that it's going to last you forever. So just keep that in mind because you are eating it and you're putting it in your body. Next, as you are going through your kitchen, really think about how many cups and serving utensils do you really need? Like, do you really need 20 different coffee cups? If you are a big coffee and tea drinker like I am, I actually have probably like 6 different mugs that I use because depending on my mood, I might use a cup that my mom gave me. I have another one that has a big heart on it. So, and I like to drink different things and I like to use different cups for different like coffee or tea. But that's it. I only have 6. Okay. So think about what you have and also go through your utensils and all of your cups and bowls, because if they're scratched, if they're cracked, if they're chipped, it's time to throw them away because you don't want to be eating any of those items. Okay. Next, go through the things that you use once a year or less. So think about appliances that we have on parade in our pantry or maybe in the basement. A cotton candy maker, a air fryer that we bought, we're so excited and we only use once a year or never use, or pasta maker or something else. And what I am inviting you to do is just think about, are you going to use it? Or you've had it for the last 5 years, then you're just not going to use it. Like, for example, I am a big on the 2 big appliances that I use are my Instapot, and I also have my KitchenAid mixer. So those are the 2 things that I have on my counter next to my tea kettle, because those are the things that I use on a regular basis. I have an air fryer, but it's tucked away in the pantry, and that's it. I really got rid of most of my appliances because not only do they take space and they collect dust, I just don't want to store them anymore. So go through those. And then I have some examples here for you on different ways for you to use your space, your doors, especially under vanity cabinets. Just think about all the airspace that you have in your kitchen, especially if you are in the apartment or maybe you are in an older home. There's not a lot of space. So how can you use your space more efficiently? So we have some ideas here for you. So I encourage you to think about your own space and figure out what kind of systems can you purchase to maximize the use of your space. Next, we're heading into bathrooms. The idea is the same. Think about all the space that you have and think about how you can use it more efficiently, especially in your vanity cabinet under your sink. Can you use some kind of hanging apparatuses on your vanity doors? Can you use the back of your door? Can you maybe hang some shelves? So think about whether it's your master bathroom that you're doing for yourself, or if you have a guest bathroom and you don't have a lot of space, how can you maximize what you have? Okay. Next, set up your everyday systems. So things that you use every morning, you can put in one plastic container. Things that you use every evening can go in another plastic container, and they're all right there, easily accessible. Next, when you get started organizing, it is also important for you to go through everything that you have and to toss and recycle those things that are old. And when I say old, I mean that are a year or older. So think about it. The products that you have in your bathroom are specifically manufactured and formulated to be able to be stored in a regular environment, not in a refrigerator, which means there's going to be chemicals added to those products. The longer you wait, the longer and older they get, the more chemical disruption that is going to happen. And these are the products that you put on your body, which means that those chemicals are getting absorbed into your skin and into your body. So my recommendation to you, especially with makeup, replace everything every 6 months. Take advantage of December and January sales and get some fresh makeup for yourself, fresh looks based on what's in style at this time. And the same thing for lotions. I stopped buying my lotions at Costco because they're just too big jugs and you have to get two, because then I would feel bad throwing away because it's like halfway empty, yet it was more than a year. So I said to myself, so I don't feel guilty throwing away a bottle, I now buy a smaller Aveeno lotions and I finish it in less than 6 months, and then I go and buy a fresh one. So think about how it can work for you, yet I encourage you not to feel guilty by throwing away products that are really, really old. Bedrooms are your peaceful getaway from the outside hustle and bustle of the world. It is extremely important for you to have your bedroom feeling lots of air and lots of space. I make it a huge effort to constantly clean my bedroom to make sure that when I walk in there, I feel like if I shut my door, I can truly relax. If you're not sleeping well, think about if maybe you have lots of stuff that is laying around that is disrupting your energy. So let's talk about clothes. And I know it is a painful subject for some of us, yet it's extremely important for you to kind of figure out what is going to work for you and what is not working for you, and it's time to donate it. So rule of thumb, let's make it simple, 2 years. If you haven't worn something for 2 years for one reason or the other, if it's stained, torn, or bad shape, if you don't like it, if you're waiting to lose weight, if you're waiting to gain weight, just get rid of it, okay? The thought is, I don't know about you, but the things that I liked maybe even 5 years ago, except for some classical pieces that I still wear, like I have some suits that I have actually owned for a long time, yet there are just classical pieces that will never go out of style. I'm still keeping them. However, even my own personal tastes in clothing have changed over the last few years. So if you feel the same way, you should not feel guilty getting rid of some of that stuff because it's no longer in style. It's maybe stretched, and it's just time for it to be donated. A couple of ideas for you. Remember that 80-20 rule that I mentioned earlier? Well, especially true for your clothes. So I want you to pay attention to what you usually wear, and you will realize that you most of the time wear 20% of your total wardrobe, and the rest of it is just sitting there collecting dust and space. So a couple of things you can do is put a donation bin in your closet, and then when it gets full, you had time to think about it and make sure that everything that's in that bag is going to go. Once it gets full, it goes to donation. And then reverse hanger trick, put everything, all of your hangers in one way. And then when you wore something, put it the other way. And then take the time after, let's say, a month or so to see how much clothes did you truly wear. And it's important for you, if you think about it, especially in our closets. Again, we waste a lot of our airspace. So I want you to think about whether you have small closet space, which is very common, or you have a lot of it. How can you maximize the use of your closet as much as possible? Yes, cube storage bins are amazing. I still prefer to use like clear totes so you can close things to make sure they don't get dusty, yet you can see everything through the clear tote. And then I have some suggestions here for you. In some bedrooms, if you don't have a lot of closet space, we love these IKEA wardrobes. They have doors or they have glass doors so you can close everything, and they're not expensive, yet you can add more closet space for yourself for storage and keep things all neat and organized. And of course, there's lots of other ways that you can do it inexpensively. You don't have to buy an organizer. If you have a dresser, you can put one in the closet. I actually have it in 2 of my closets because I have the dresser already. And I was like, you know what? It's a simple and easy way without having to install any hardware. You just put the dresser in. And if it stops working for you, all you have to do is just pull that dresser out. Garage and basement. These are our typical best buddies for storing things. So my recommendation to you is just be mindful about using all of the space that you have. And I'm not talking about just the walls. Think about the fact that you can actually mount shelves to your ceiling. Just like the picture at the upper right-hand corner, you can put all the things that you don't use on a regular basis up there. You can get them coordinated by season, or maybe it's a holiday decorations. You can hang your bikes, you can hang your strollers, equipment, anything and everything. I love it because you can really free up some space and maybe park a car in your garage. So same thing you can do with having systems in the basement. I think it's even more important to have things organized and in totes in the basement, because if God forbid your sump pump stops working and you don't have a backup battery, or your electricity turns off, you don't get your basement flooded and then ruin the things that you had sitting on the floor. So I'm a big believer, again, in clear plastic totes. You can invent in them. And big believer on using up as much wall space as possible, as well as ceiling space here. And everything that I'm sharing with you, you guys can get it at Home Depot, at Lowe's, Walmart, or you can shop on Amazon. Very, very easy. Living rooms and family rooms. Let's just go through our stuff and work our way from left corner all the way around the room. Right, so go through all of your cords and electronics, go through your pillows and blankets. Is it time to potentially get rid of some of those things, because our furry friends love to lay on our blankets and pillows? Go through all of your paper that attracts dust like there's no tomorrow, old magazines and books. If you're not planning on rereading those books again, please donate them. Old magazines and other things and ripped stuff can be just recycled. And is it time to print and update your photos? I think all of us absolutely love using our phones for taking pictures, but when was the last time you actually took the time to print those pictures so that way you can update your pictures and frames at home? I invite you to think about this as one of the things, just kind of a refresher project for this weekend. You can purchase a wall of frames from Amazon, which is the picture that I have in the middle. Think about it. It's a great way for you to create a collage of something that is important to you or something that you love. It could be your family. It could be pretty pictures that you took from your recent vacation, or pictures that you were taking when you were practicing your photography skills, whatever it is that's going to make you happy and put a smile on your face, because every time you walk by that wall of frames, you're going to see it and it's going to make you happy. And that is the goal, right? Things that we have on our home are supposed to make us happy and peaceful. All right. This is one of the important questions that a lot of you ask me all the time. Well, I'm afraid of getting rid of papers because what if I'm going to need it? What if it's illegal paper? What if this or that? So this is a great guide for you to use. If you want to, please put this in your office or in your fridge. This is a guide for you to know how long to keep certain documents. And the most important 2 points, bullet points, are the ones all the way at the bottom. One is called keep forever, and the other one is always shred. So what I want you to realize is that when we organize our papers, it's extremely important to keep those papers that matter to us the most. And I have a whole list here for you, things that you cannot replace: diplomas, divorce decrees, education records, any kind of documents that are important for you and your family, military, veteran records, everything and anything that you say to yourself, "Ooh, I have to keep it. It's extremely important," whether it's impossible to replace or difficult to replace, cannot just lay around your house. They need to be either in a safety deposit box at the bank that you can rent, or you need to put it in the safe. So that is another investment that I strongly suggest that you make, and that you do that sooner than later. Because if God forbid something happens, your paperwork gets damaged, your things burn down, some of those things are irreplaceable, and you're going to regret not doing this. So this is probably one of the first things that I would suggest that you do when you get started on your decluttering journey, is start putting everything maybe in the colorful box or a tote, and then buy a safe. I have seen safes in BJ's and Costco. They have them in Home Depot, or you can always purchase it online as well. And with regards to always shredding, anything that has your signature account, anything that you're not sure, make sure that you shred it and not throw it away, to make sure that you're not having any issues with identity theft. So now that we talked about paperwork, let's head into the office. I have a few suggestions here for you on how you organize your papers, depending on how many papers you actually get. But it's extremely important to keep your papers organized and not in a haphazard pile. I like to have it simple, yet I like to have a system. I keep my things in a small filing cabinet that is right next to me, and the rest I scan all of my documents and I keep them in the cloud in my Google Drive filing cabinet, as well as my Dropbox filing cabinet. Both of them are free. So if you have Gmail, you have access to Google Drive for free, and Dropbox is free as well. So you can scan thousands of items. You don't have to be anything fancy in terms of scanning. You can just use your phone, take pictures, or you can put a scan app on your phone and be able to scan documents as well. And think about and design a system for when the mail comes into your house. I like getting mail, even though a lot of times it's bills. But when I get the mail, I separate into 3 categories, right? So make it simple again. One pile are the things that I need to go through and review. That goes into my cabinet. Second pile is things that I'm going to recycle. And that's it. And the rest of it is just, throw away. That's it. It's very, very simple. All right, so now let's talk about the piles of things that we made. What are we going to do? How are we going to get rid of the stuff, right? Because before we talked about the things that we are keeping. So throwing away things, focus on some simple things and things that you have available through the township. So your regular trash and recycle days, please just tell yourself, I need to put something out every time, whether it's twice a week or once a week. Put something for trash and recycle. If your township has a bulk day, that's a great way to get rid of things in bulk and not have to pay for them. You do have services like 1-800-GOT-JUNK that you can use as well. I can tell you that they're not cheap. Electronic recycle and hazard trash days, double check with your county. We're heading into the spring season. A lot of the counties have these days scheduled. This is where you can get rid of these products for free, but in a safe in a safe way, and the county takes care of those things for you. So here's a fun thing that you can just say, you know what, I'm not sure what I'm going to do, but here's 50 things. Here's a great list for you to be able to just throw away for instant decluttering. Right? So if you just want to take this list and go through it and see what you can accomplish in a couple of sessions, I think this is just a fun way for you just to get rid of some stuff. So what about these things? I think this is another important slide because I get this question all the time. Well, Olga, I feel bad. I have things that got passed down to me to generation. I have boxes of china. I have photos. I have furniture. And I feel like I'm letting my family down because don't want to keep it. I feel guilty. And what it's important for you to understand is that your family is no longer with you, and it's okay to pick a few pieces and maybe to make a collage or share with some of those pieces with your family, but it's also okay to donate the rest of those things so that way you can make room for the things that you enjoy now as a living human being. So take pictures of the rest of the items, and then you can create an album on your phone, do a collage, and then have your family treasure some pieces, and then it's okay to donate things. It's also important for you to take the photos and get your photos digitized, because I think losing photos is extremely painful to a lot of us. Albums disintegrate with time. Lots of services that are available. Some of it is free, some of it you pay for, yet you want to make sure that you preserve your memories. DVDs, CDs are definitely great for you to either keep or donate. With a VHS, it's time to recycle them. Although, you know what's something funny is some of the VHSs are becoming really desirable vintage pieces nowadays. So maybe double check and see if anything is selling on eBay. And I have some other suggestions here for you. I think a lot of us feel guilty. Well, what do we do with our kids' artwork? And, you know, I don't want to throw it away. The kids are going to kill me. So I have some suggestions here for you on how you can display the artwork. I used to keep a lot of it, and then I just downgraded everything to one tote. And I explained to my kids that I'm keeping the most treasured pieces that are important to me. And that was my choice, and they were okay with it. So I have some suggestions here for you on what you can do. Some really, really cool and creative options. Selling are good options as well. eBay is great. Etsy, depending if you have some creative things. If you are on social media, we love Facebook Marketplace and like neighborhood groups. There's different apps out there. Next door neighborhoods. Poshmark is if you have some designer items. And of course, you have some more like traditional ways where you can just host a garage sale or hire a company to help you. So just a few kind of food for thought. As you are going through this process, remember when I said, let's set up a system? So here are a few little kind of buttons for you to keep in mind. If you came home and you grabbed the mail, don't just put it down anywhere. Designate a space for where your mail goes. Like I have everything goes into one spot, and then I go through everything maybe once a week or twice a week. Schedule a few times a year to donate household items that you may no longer use or need. Keep a couple of donation boxes, like maybe in your master bedroom closet. Have a box in your laundry. This way, as you're passing it, you're like, oh yeah, that's right. I no longer need this piece. You know where you can put it, and it's all in one designated place. A one in, one out rule. If you want to set some boundaries for yourself, if you buy something for yourself, which is okay to refresh your wardrobe, to refresh things in the kitchen or the bathrooms, you buy one thing, that means you need to either throw away, recycle, or donate one thing. Okay. And definitely think about having a paperwork filing system. Remember, paper loves and collects dust. A lot of us are now allergic to dust. So think about how you can help yourself and help your health, and also have a system for all of that mail that is coming in every day. So here is your action plan. Your trusty notebook should be your guide to help you jot down your thoughts, to if you have a time frame or deadline to work on, maybe where you want to start. You know, do you need to hire an organizer? Because sometimes some people say, you know what, I can't stay focused. This takes too much of my time. I get too emotional to go through things. This is when it makes time to hire someone to help you, to work alongside of you, keep you focused, and to help you just get things done. So if you need any recommendations, we have a couple of great people that we work with. And of course, if you would like to be done by why, because you have a time frame, so jot all those things down. Next, purchase painter's blue tape, and they actually now have different colors available. You can use this as a great visual tool to mark, especially big pieces like furniture and bags and things. And you can mark those things that either are keeping or things that you want to get rid of. And then you can kind of go from there, but at least it's visually helping your brain and your eyes to say, hey, I'm making progress. Next, let's get you started for your first date for yourself with your decluttering project. Or if you want, you can schedule a couple of them out. But just remember, once you schedule, those are your important appointments to keep. And I hope that you utilize the handy room by room guide that I've included in this workbook, in this workshop, just help you along. because depending on where you want to get started, just use that page from the workbook and just follow it along and then decide on what's going to work best for you. So that's what I have to share with you today. If you need our help to get a list of contractors or companies to help you with the decluttering and sorting and, just maybe bringing pieces from the attic or from the basement, please let us know. And of course, because we love everything about being your community real estate resource, let us know if there's anything that you would like to talk to us in private. And of course, we do this workshop every month. So if you need some motivation to help you along, to help you keep going, so please come back and let's talk about it every month about your progress. You don't forget to do before and after pictures. And all of our workshops are on our YouTube channel, which I have instructions here on how you can get to it. And we will send this out to you as soon as we have everything ready. So I know that I shared a lot of things with you, but I hope that you take what you need right now. And the most important thing is decide first appointment when you want to get started, and then just start small and just one piece of that stuff at a time. So those are my suggestions for you. All right, question time, feedback time. I hope that you found this helpful. Let's see what we got. Okay, Melissa, I got your contact information. Thank you. We do have a webinar that we created specifically just for kitchen stuff. So hopefully sign up for that. We have that coming up. Should be fun. Genius Scan. Yep, Jess, that's another good one to use as an app to scan things on your phone if you want to keep track. How much storage with Gmail and Dropbox? You get pretty significant storage. Just keep in mind that it's best to store documents on your Drive and Dropbox and not pictures, because pictures are pretty big and they take up a lot of room. Iris is also asking, is Genius Scan on iPhone 11s? Jess, do you know that? I don't have an iPhone.
Yeah, I think it should be. I had it on my previous phones.
Okay, so Gmail says 15 gigabytes and Dropbox says 2. So 15 gigabytes is more than plenty for document storage, but just don't use it for picture storage because it will eat up your storage space really quickly. And then you're going to have to pay. Okay, do I have suggestions for studios? Are you talking about the space that you have one big room that you live in as a studio? I think that's how I'm taking it.
Yes, yes.
Okay. I think it's important when you have that one open space to have designated spaces for different living spaces. Like you have your dining space, then you have your sleeping space, you have your office space. And that's where you respect those boundaries. That's what I think is important. So that way your sleeping space is clear and all your paperwork only can go maybe in your kitchen area when it comes into the house, but then it gets transferred over to your office area. And it can be just, a corner where you sit in your desk, or if you don't have a desk, maybe you use your dining room table. But I think it's important just to have designated spaces for different things and honoring those spaces for what they're designated to be done, to be used.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Sonia says, I was a teacher and I'm having difficulty going through all the things that I brought home, kind of sentimental about it. I hear you. Well, just remember, it is really stuff. And I encourage you to go through everything and maybe just sort through and figure out which items are most important to you, because you can't keep it all. And I know it may take you time, but you just need to tell yourself that I only have so much space, right? We only have so much space. So I'm going to keep these pieces and maybe do this first, put those pieces aside, and then see how you feel if you got rid of the rest. If it's really painful, then maybe take another look through the pile that you want to get rid of and see if there's a couple more pieces. But ultimately, you're just going to have to tell yourself, I only have space for 30 pieces, and that's what it is.
I know my husband wants me to get rid of it all. But it's hard.
It is hard. Well, you know what? Let's compromise. I cannot get rid of all of it because it's years of memories, but I am going to go through it and get rid of some of it, but I am going to keep some of it. So that's a conversation to make sure that you have with your significant other to have a compromise. Some people have no problems getting rid of things, and a lot of people don't. A lot of people have challenges.
Thank you.
Maybe
Mhm.
making a memory book with photos of all of those items too. That way you can still look through it and remember everything.
Yeah, take pictures of those other things. This way you don't physically have them, but you can actually create a an album in your
Right.
where your pictures are with those things that you're physically getting rid of, but yet you can still refer to them if you wanted to look at them for memories.
I'm also looking to see who I can donate so much material that I have, books and children's books, kindergarten, first grade. So that's,
So put that on your to-do list in your notebook and give yourself a deadline. So, by the end of February, I'm going to reach out to this school and ask if any of the teachers need it. And if they don't, then I'm going to reach another couple of schools. And if they are not interested, then I'm like, maybe kids' books can be then donated to the library.
okay.
Right?
Thank
You just have to give yourself a framework to work with. You say, I'm going to give myself 2 months to figure this out, and then it's going to go to the library for donations.
Thank you.
Mhm. All right, anybody has anything else? My goal today is to make sure that this was helpful to you, and it's probably overwhelming. So please take only what you think you are going to need for your first project, because then as you go through, let's say you're trying to downsize in your whole house, every single room in your house needs work. Then you can say, well, now I'm ready to work on the kitchen. Then you can go back to the workbook and then look at the kitchen slides and work on those.
Hi, my name is Iris.
Hi.
I have a problem of for my closet, fat clothes and thin clothes. I'm a little reluctant to throw out what I don't wear because I do sort of yo-yo. Any suggestions on how to address that?
If you don't want to get rid of everything and then keep, let's say, 5 pieces, like figure out what number you feel comfortable with to keep, yet realize that you need to make room in your closet. And that kind of gives you a compromise with yourself. That's how I would handle it.
Okay. Getting it down to 5 will be difficult, but I'll work on it. Thank you.
Well, figure out, I just threw out a number. Yeah, because I'm not sure, because when you talk about closet, I imagine my own closet. So I don't know what your closet looks like. So figure out what number you feel comfortable with and then narrow down to those pieces. Or if you think that's still painful, then go down, get rid of half of things and then see how you feel. And then you can go from there.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, my pleasure.
Hangers can make a difference too if you really don't want to let go. The thin felt hangers, if all of your clothes are hung on those, you can create some space in your closet.
Thank you.
All right, anybody else has anything else?
Sorry, is it possible to share the calendar that you had, say you do a specific thing every day?
Yeah, the 30-day challenge.
Yeah, and I have your email, Olive, so I can make a note to send you that.
Brilliant.
Yeah, we'll
Thank
get
you.
it over to you.
Actually, can you send it to everybody?
Sure.
Yeah, if we have your emails.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like a very good idea.
Sorry,
Sounds good.
I started late. We will be getting a copy of your presentation. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am. Yep,
Thank
the
you.
workbook will be coming to you as well as the recording.
Okay, thank you.
You're sure welcome. All right, everybody, we're going to wrap up to get you on your way. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you want some more motivation, come back next month again. Okay, so yes, a lot of you have a job ahead of you. So remember, just one appointment at a time, 1 hour at a time to get you moving in the right direction. Okay. All right. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us, and hopefully we'll see you next month. Bye-bye.
So much. Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Happy New Year.
Happy
Bye.
New Year. Bye-bye.